And we're starting off with the Kansas City Shootout. It's Joe Prince and Kieron Hall kicking things off in this round of 24. But it's Stephen Wyatt and Mr. Tony Holgate in the booth. And look at that 8-ball, Tony. It almost got there.
Yeah, that would have been an incredible start. Of course, the golden break is in play, shootout style. And Joe Prince came very close to opening accounts with a golden break. Anyway, Kieron Hall now at the table.
And Kieron's a player that we saw make his shootout debut back in Iowa. And he played the perfect set against Dennis Hatch. That was such a wild event.
Yeah, I wasn't on the concert. I did watch it from the sidelines, and yeah, Kieron's a great player. So he's off for the stripes. Of course, you've got to make Joe Prince the favourite in this match. He won the Arizona Open back in February.
And prior to that, 3 runner-up.
3 finals, yeah. That's when they gave him the nickname Joe Prince II.
Oh.
Wow. That was an incredible miss there from Kieron Hall. The 13 ball nearly landed in Iowa.
Maybe rushed a little bit there. It was definitely interesting.
And another look at this.
Right off the bat, little tactical play there. So, Tony, this is your first trip to Side Pocket here in Blue Springs, just outside the Kansas City area, and we've had a good first couple days. Bill here, the owner, is really incredible.
Great guy. What I have to say, what a great venue as well. I know a lot of the team were here last year, yourself included, and I was really looking forward to coming to Side Pockets, and it hasn't disappointed.
Yeah, pretty incredible venue this is, and the people are amazing.
So if you're in the area, get yourself down to Side Pockets and come and watch some of this through the next 4 days. It's going to be a wild tournament.
Well, what is going on here? This is the shootout format. It is 30-minute matches, and we are used to very fast-paced. But I gotta say, this is starting off a little slower than we are usually used to.
Yeah, I think Kieron's going to have a go here and try and move these balls out, which he has. But the 14 stayed where it started, so no joy there for Kieron. Yeah, this is a sort of rack that Joe Prince won't really be enjoying. He wants to get his hand on the table and start potting, sort of loosen up a bit. Has obviously been here for a couple of days practicing, but not on the match table. And I can tell he's got a brand new cloth on it. As always, to start this tournament, and the outer tables, when you go out practicing on those, they play at a whole different speed.
Yeah, a little peek behind the curtain. They actually had this table refelted this morning, so it is extremely fresh. Only a few balls hit on the table prior to this match. Well, still got some trouble here. I'm not sure what the play is, but he's going to have to do something spectacular if he's going to stay at the table and be aggressive.
Well, there's nothing to be aggressive with there, to be fair. Yeah, little shake of the head. So Joe Prince, massive favourite now in this rack. Okay, the 5 and the 2 are stuck together at the top of the table, but because he's got the ball advantage, he should be able to carve himself out an opportunity. The play here, I think, is to play the 4 ball, bring that out across the 14 ball, just not too far, and this would give him an attacking option. But I don't understand that. Well, I do to a certain extent, but that little cluster could have been moved from the 7 ball. He could have brought the 4 ball out, left Kieron stuck by the 14, and he would have been in a lot of trouble. This is okay, but even if he gets ball in hand here, he's not going to be able to put the ball down in a great place, apart from play a bank shot with the 4. A huge amount of clock top we're using here. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you're normally looking at 3 minutes a rack when the play's really aggressive. And of course, we're now pushing into minute 7.
And I'll tell you, Tony, if you've been watching since we were here last, back in almost a year ago to the day.
Just stop it there. He's going to play a combo shot here. He's going to play the 2 onto 14 and 4.
Oh,
he played it really badly.
Oh, no.
Could not play that any worse. Has he been lucky? Has he got the cue ball down to the bottom of the table?
Oh, he does.
Ooh, Joe Prince, you lucky boy. Because the bank shot's not available because the 8 ball's over the side pocket, so he's going to have to come across 2 rails.
Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, if you guys have been watching since back when we first came to Kansas City, we have not seen a 6-ball shootout live in Kansas City. Well, this is the start of how you get to that situation. You have a very long first rack where the time clock will come into play. No guarantees, but it's always an option when the first rack is over 8 minutes.
Well, he's got to cut the 2 ball. Cut the 2 ball on the bottom rail. Only shot for Joe. He makes this, he wins the rack. And he has. And a friendly bounce. Just wants to steer the cue ball away from that 14, does not want to bump into it. So just got to be mindful of that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Joe Prince in great shape, so it looks like we are going to see this rack completed with nearly a third of the match clock gone.
This is
straightforward 5 up into the top corner.
This is an alternating break format, so the opportunity to go shot game for game is definitely there. And Joe Prince takes down rack number 1. Joe Prince there. Back up to the table, Kieron Hall with a dry break. Not what he wants in this situation, trailing 1-0 with over 10 minutes gone. This is the most fast-paced, action-packed 8-ball that you can get anywhere. And it is very much so that fast-paced.
That's gone real ugly there. If he stuck to the 15 there and can't get to the 9 or 10, that's real bad for Joe.
And referee Daryl Hibbert did call the touching ball, so he is frozen against the 15. Now, because he is frozen against his own ball, he can just play to the rail, and it will be a good hit because he's already in contact with the 15. So catching a rail is good. On the opposite side, if that 15 ball moves when he strokes through this ball, it is a foul.
Well, he's playing away from it. He's going to try and kick it back into the side pocket. and he's made
he
it
does.
off the 11. Little bit of a helping hand, but
That's
the
a
pot was achieved.
really nice kick there by Joe Prince.
Taking on the 12 ball into the corner. So he's got to get the 11 ball out, so he's going to do that probably now off the 10 ball. So 10 into the corner pocket, cue ball. He's going to try and push it into the 3 and the 11, maybe straight into the 11.
Another great shot there. You know, to start off this run, that kick shot to the ball that ultimately Joe had tied himself to was a very, very nice shot. And since then, he's made some good clearances here.
Yeah, he dodged a bullet in the first rack. But since then, Joe Prince looking to pull two clear. Down goes the 8. Prince now leads 2 racks to 0. Not the greatest break in the world. Has made a ball. Should have played a 6 into the side pocket. He wants to get on the 3 next. Well, he's going to go for the combination. I thought he might play for the 3, punch that in, push the 5 across the table, play that 4-2, then the 8, but he's gone for the combo, and that's pretty good now.
Yeah, KC native Kieron Hall, of course, originally from overseas in your neck of the woods there, Tony.
Yeah, from Wales.
But he's lived in KC for quite a while, made a huge splash at the Iowa Open in that match against Dennis. However, not having the same luck here, he missed a pretty easy ball just a few racks ago and hasn't had much chance at the table.
Oh, that's brilliant. Just that rub into the 8 ball there just pushes it away from the 13, and now you see it will pass through those stripes and into the side pocket. Doesn't want to get the 5 as well, so he's got a bit of a funny angle here. Or could he get over to the left-hand side of the table? Will the 8 go into the right side pocket? I think because of that nudge, it will.
And he's played that
Too hard.
Yeah.
He could have afforded to be short.
But not long.
No.
And again, if you're new to this, this is international 8-ball rules, and jump cues and jump shots are not allowed. So bring out your measuring stick, figure out how to kick that ball in, because that's your only option here.
He's going to try and swerve cue ball past the 15, or past the 9, shall I say. That's going to be ball in hand. No rail reached. I thought he was going to try and swerve past the 15 and into the side cushion, come back and try and kick it again.
You know, he made a good effort there.
Yeah, but you were never going to get the pace into the cue ball to get that 8 ball to the side pocket.
Fresh cloth. It's so difficult to judge that. You know, I don't care how good you are. It's so difficult to judge.
Your Kieron Hall now. Everything in the open. And this is huge for Kieron because at 3-0 racks down, that would have been huge. Now just to get within 1 of Joe Prince.
Well, and by the time he runs this out, we're going to be right around the 13-minute mark. And that's not a lot of time because once we get to that 10-minute mark, this shot clock will drop to 15 seconds, and that's when the pressure cooker turns on, really.
That's when the fun starts.
Yeah,
Stephen.
that's where it's all fun and games at that point. At least for us. I don't know how they're feeling. It can't feel good, but
Joe doesn't mind it. I don't think Kieron will bother either.
it's a lot of fun for us, though.
A tad short.
Yeah, you just got to watch the bump here. He played it well. One more good shot gets Kieron Hall on the board.
Nice 8 ball. In it goes Kieron Hall off the mark. 8 ball's moving.
Yes, it was. And during this shootout, the 8 ball is alive on the break. Normal international 8 ball rules says if the 8 ball drops, it is spotted. However, this is the one change to the rules when we're in this shootout format. Adds a little excitement with the golden break and the golden duck. You can win the rack immediately, but you can also lose it by scratching in the same break.
Lots of movement there as Kieron Hall struck that cue ball. Just looked at his bridge hand and his cue twisted. So it went along his bridge hand.
Well, that's never a good thing when you're twisting like that.
Yeah, well, you see when he actually delivered his final stroke on that, the cue had sort of come away from his thumb a bit and gone towards his knuckle, which has pushed the cue ball to the side of the 4, hence missing. So Joe Prince on stripes. Going to play loss of turn here. Prince pots the 3 ball and leaves Kieron Hall in a bit of trouble. Had to play that shot though, Joe, because he had to open up that bottom left corner, and that 3 ball was becoming a problem. Hall could hook him back here if he hits this right, and that's going to be ball in hand.
No rail. Yeah, unfortunately, he needed to come into 4 before he hit the rail. And now Joe Prince looks to extend that lead back to 2.
Yeah, Joe's not going to make the same mistake again. I leave the 11 ball till last. Just wants to get straight behind it really now. Play it up into the top left corner. Stop the cue ball. 8 ball, bottom right. And this is going to be 3-1, Joe Prince. Down goes the 8. Joe Prince restores his 2-rack lead rather than just clean the one that he was going to play. Give me that one. I'll get on with the game then. Well,
that's
scratched.
not good.
Scratched off the break, and look at that face. He's not happy at all.
Maybe you should have used the other cue ball, Tony.
Yeah, exactly. Not a great break, this. See it again. He's unlucky to scratch, but he didn't really get the balls moving too much.
Yeah, the 3 ball is kind of in a weird spot if you want to take the solids. Otherwise, I would take them. But with the situation that it's in, I think this is the right play here. You're going to have to clear out all the balls on the bottom left-hand side before you can take on that 9 ball, unless you fancy taking it up to the top right.
More head shaking. This time for Kieron Hall. And the worst thing is, he's left Joe Prince completely in the open with these solids. All it is here for Joe is it's just a 7 to the 8.
That is the tricky one, right? Does the 8 ball go past the 10 in the bottom left-hand pocket?
But the thing with that is because he's always having to leave an angle on this 7. So he won't be thinking about that pocket, but
Maybe the right side.
yeah, he's never really getting out of that cluster, so it's going to have to take it in the side pocket. Not an easy shot, but made to look so. And Joe Prince now 4 racks to 1 in front. 7 minutes 47 left on the match clock, and that's a pretty good lead for Joe. There's Nigel Smith. He's come over with Joe. It's where Joe plays all his pool out of Spots and Stripes, it's called. The venue in Redhill near London.
Yeah, the shirt he's wearing is pretty iconic. Of course, if you've ever seen The Color of Money, you know Vince has the Vince shirt. It's kind of cool to see that out. And Nigel's a good dude. We hung out with him a little bit last night. And,
yeah, he's a great guy. He's playing in the Open.
Nigel is.
He is indeed. And funny enough, I'll tell you what, he's playing in the Open, which starts tomorrow, and his first match is against Kieron Hall. So he said, I'll be interested to watch Joe play him because, it's like a little scouting mission.
Well, I'll tell you, I feel like everybody in the building, except for maybe me and you, is in the shootout or in the Open because there's 192 players in
massive.
the Open.
Absolutely incredible. The thing sold out for the 1-2-8 players, I think in a matter of a couple of hours. It was something really silly. So they had to open it up again.
I think the original
the demand is so huge now to play over here in the Ultimate Pool USA.
I think the original idea was to open it up to 160, but then they realized that an additional, however many spots, it wasn't going to be enough.
No.
Oh, well, a little fortune.
A little. Kieron, he's just struggling out there a bit, is Kieron.
He is, and this is not the Kieron Hall that we saw in Des Moines, Iowa at the rack. And the time clock almost getting him there a little bit. It's important for him now in this rack where everything is kind of laid out. He needs to just kind of reset. It's still okay. He's got the 11 ball in the side pocket. He's definitely making this layout
It's
tough.
all a bit loose. He's still going though.
And it's not over until that buzzer dings or player gets to 6.
And Kieron Hall makes a 13 in the corner. Simple 8, 4-2. Kieron Hall putting up a fight. Had a very friendly 9 ball that he missed that went in the other corner though.
All right, ball down. 14 ball spinning at Mach speed.
Stripes. The choice for Prince. He's got 3 in a cluster by the left-hand side pocket. It's the 15 that's wedged to the 5 ball. Wants to get sort of over to the left-hand rail there. He's coming up there. It must go straight into the corner.
Yeah, I think it does, but this is not the best. This is not the best play here from Joe. He came out a little too far, I believe. Obviously, the shot's still makeable, but the pattern afterwards is just going to be a little funnier than it should have been.
Yeah, he's in good shape now.
You know, what do you think here, Tony? You go to the 10 after the 15 and then play the 11 and get shape on the 8?
All day long. Oh, Joe. Just blocked off the 8 ball there by pushing the 5 away as he potted that 15 ball.
He doesn't look
he's
too
okay
concerned.
He knows he's got the ball over the side. Oh, he's missed it. Wow.
Well, I was just about to say, it looks like the 8 ball might go. Might be able to just clip it, but you got to make the 10 ball first.
Yeah, no, you had to move it.
Using his knowledge on how to cheat the pocket just a little bit to make that ball and hold shape for the 2. The most important ball on the table right now for Kieron Hall is the 5 ball. Can he make it off of the 11, or does he have to shoot it up top? Of course, Kieron is actually a player in the Kansas City Ultimate Pool League. He holds an up score of around 720. Oh, goodness. And
He's playing shots like that. He'll have an up score of about 300 very shortly.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kieron's definitely a feared player in the Ultimate Pool League. He plays the game well, and he likes the format, and he's used to it. But I'd be willing to bet that the people that he's played in league are probably thinking to themselves, why didn't he do that against me?
Absolutely. It's incredible. But he's missed about 3 or 4 now.
Nice break out there. Watch out, 8 ball. Don't go too far. I think it's very makeable here, and if it's not, it's bankable. Well, there it is. 5-2 in this race to 6. 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. He's definitely going to need it. 8 ball's moving, but it's not enough. And it's dry. Kieron Hall not going to be happy with his performance here.
That sealed his fate there. Had to make a ball off that break. Joe, even if he doesn't run out here, he's going to knock enough time off that clock that makes it virtually impossible to get anywhere near Joe Prince.
And Joe plays the clock very well. He understands everything about the situation anytime he's on the shot clock. So he's just going to play these out one at a time. And if he were to miss, it's just not going to be enough time, and Joe knows it.
I think take the 3 ball now. If you can get through that gap between the 15 and the 8, take that 3 ball. Stop the cue. Well, you could actually run it in and play the 7, but he might stop it and play the 1. He's going for the 7 next. And that is that pretty much. He should run out from here. The 2 solids on the left, they both going cleanly into the corner. The one's in the middle of the table, the 8 ball's open. We didn't play that particularly well. So you have to dig deep into this 1 ball. Probably going to the stripes over by the side pocket. No, he's coming around the angles, missed it. But less than a minute now, so Kieron Hall somehow has to get 4 racks in about 50 odd seconds.
And I think Kieron knows that it's not going to happen, but he's going to get up there and he's going to run these balls.
He has to run them in and hope that Joe has a golden duck. Breaks, pots the 8 in the cue ball, but Joe's not going to. Well, yeah. I think that is pretty much resignation.
Absolutely, and Joe Prince is going to move on to the last 16. Not quite a barn burner, but Kieron Hall played pretty well. And we'll get a word from Mr. Joe Prince here in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Welcome back out to the arena. Let's get a few words with our first champion here this weekend. Joe, congratulations. That sounds pretty good. First match, first win. Well played.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I played to the best of my ability there. I certainly made a couple of mistakes. Kieron made a couple of mistakes as well. I was lucky enough that on a couple of frames he didn't punish me on my mistakes. On another day that would have been a very different story and I would have lost. So I will take that as I come. And I will hopefully get better as the weekend goes on.
I want to ask you about the moment 4-2. You didn't make an out. He gets to the table, and you're thinking at that point there's just enough time for it to get interesting. And you know, from a player's perspective, in a shootout match when the clock's involved as well, how much are you sort of thinking about that in your chair, and how much is the clock involved in those moments? Yeah,
so I was looking at the time, and I thought once I missed that ball at 4-2. He had enough time to make it 4-3 and then break and run for 4-all, and then there would have been a buzzer beater either on one of our sides, and if neither of us get it, then there would have been another shootout, just like I did in my first round match Boston. But once again, luckily he didn't punish me on my mistake, and I managed to get that frame. Once I got to 5, I knew there wasn't enough time for him to get back.
Is it a different feeling than if you were playing a straight race to 6 when you know that you need 2 more chances to try and win the match, whereas this time around it's all about the match clock and it just changes the dynamic completely?
Yeah, absolutely. Instead of it being a 1st to 6 match there, I'm sitting at my chair thinking if I get to 5, I've won the match because of the clock. So it shortens the race, and if you're behind trying to get to that spot, it puts so much more pressure on you.
Got to ask you about your next opponent. You've already had 2 really good battles with Craig Waddingham here in America. One final which you won, one semi-final which he won and went on to win the title. A rematch number 3, I guess, 1-1 at the moment.
Yeah, well, hopefully I can play as good as I did in the Arizona Open and not in the Boston Shootout, because those are 2 very different Joes, and I would rather one of them not turn up this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch whatever seems to happen. Best of luck, Joe, when we see you again tomorrow in that match.